Well, hey guys, welcome to my channel, welcome to the stream, and another video, another chapter. This guy right there, our 92 Toyota. Let's run the intro. We'll get right to it, okay? Alright. Okay guys, we're back, and so we are going to continue on our build. Last time we didn't really get a lot done, did we? I basically got the intake hose put in, and I got the grill put on, and the rad put in, and the lower rad hose is in there. But that's really all we got done last time, right? It's not a lot. Because that intake hose was giving me a little bit of fitment problems, I said I was going to paint it off camera. I never did get a chance, so that's what I'm going to start doing. I'll change the camera. You can watch me paint just this little bit. Okay, so we have our intake hose in here, okay, and that's all installed and it's glued in nice, and she's going to stay there forever now. But we got to touch up that paint on her, so I'm going to use my Mr. Surfacer, and while I'm in there I'm also going to touch up my spark plug wires that a little bit of paint has come off on them. Okay, so we'll just touch this up first. Get this all painted black once again, like it's supposed to be. And we'll go over our spark plug wires that are supposed to be black and not copper color. Now this Mr. Surfacer, I have this thinned down for spray painting, and so it doesn't want to cover all that great as far as painting our wires goes. I think it'll do the job. It'll get there. I just might have to go over the wires a couple of times to actually get the coverage on them that I need. I do have other bottles of my Mr. Surfacer, so I could just grab those. Straight out of the bottle, it's a little thicker and therefore easier to paint. Making sure everything is black like it's supposed to be. I think we're good. That's looking pretty good. Okay, so there's our underhood parts and bits. Okay, we got our grill installed and looking good. Now the radiator, I got to get in there. The radiator's got to be painted black. So I am purposely going to put it on thick because this stuff needs to cover. Actually, for this part I am going to grab another bottle. Okay, I'm going to grab another jar of my 1500 black that I have not thinned down yet. I say yet because, let's see, do I have another one here? No, I gotta grab one of my extras. Where'd you go? Extra paint. Here we go. Here's a, doesn't even have anything in it. Normally I put the ball bearings inside of it. but this one's not even been opened yet. It's brand new, which means this is going to be thick. Okay, so the fact that it's thick means it's going to go on better. It's going to cover more. There we go. Okay, so that part of the rad is now painted, just like it's supposed to be. And I think I'll just touch up down here while I'm at it. Why not? There we go. Okay. So, that being said, let's close this up and I'll clean up my brush and we can move on to the next step. Okay. Let's put that over there for now. I'll give my brush a little cleaning. You guys see this here? That was a plain black bumper last week. Remember that? Remember the bumper was, I had stripped the chrome off of it because it was on the same sprue as the wheels, and the wheels were chrome and they're not supposed to be. They happen to be on the same sprue, right? So I just left the bumper on there, and what I did is I resprayed this with Testors, this stuff here, Testors Chrome. Testors Chrome spray. That's this stuff. Now, I did this a few days ago, so whoops. So this is dry, and the nice thing about Testors is you can handle it a little bit, and it doesn't come off on your fingers like Molotow Chrome does, because this is an actual spray. Although it's very similar stuff, so you do have to be a little careful with it. But you can see it's very, very good. The latest stuff you guys are seeing online on everything is that new paint you can get on Amazon, and I've yet to spray with it. I've painted it on. It comes with a little brush in the jar, and I've tested that, and yes, it looks very nice, and it comes with its own clear, so you can clear with it and blah 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 and all that stuff. So anyway, the next thing we need to do, we got to put our upper rad hose in. We didn't get a chance to do that last time. So we have our upper rad hose here, and that's got to go in, not on my chair. This little spot here needs to go to the engine, right in the middle there, and then the other part goes to the side of the rad. So let's see if I can get that in there. Okay, I think what I want to do is get my thicker glue and my tweezers, and we'll just see how I need to grab this. We got an ugly pin mark there that might interfere with how she fits. Okay, so we've got to go in right here, right in there. It's the thing I don't like about these tweezers, they don't hold strong enough, so I always wind up having to grab these ones. Why is my camera off? What the heck's wrong with my camera? Bear with me a moment here, guys. I don't know why my camera's turned off. me, guys. There we go, we're back. Okay. Don't know why my camera decided to just stop, but here we are. Okay. So, where was I? I don't know how long it was. I got the front of the rad painted black, and we got our little bits up in the engine there, all painted black like they're supposed to. So, our rad hose, hold on to it like this. Let's try this. Just gotta go in the center there while going into the hole in the top. Finding that hole. Oh, I'm going on the wrong side here. The hole is on this side of the rad, not this side. I don't know why, I just automatically assumed it was that side. So let's turn our truck around. Dun, 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 which puts our ejector pin on the top of the hose instead of the bottom, which kind of sucks. So, it fits in there. Here's our hole. Here's our hole. Okay, I think we got it to a point where I can put some glue on this. Right here. And right here. I got a good enough idea. How she's got to go in. She don't fit quite right. It's like it's too long. It's too long on this end. So we're gonna have to trim. Maybe I'll start with like a millimeter, something like that. That's better. That fits much better. Now, just to bring it up to that hole, and put this down into its little spot in the engine. Sorry if my head's covering it and in the way. There we go. So our upper rad hose is in. You can see that. And I did have to trim a millimeter off the front of it there to get that to fit and get it into its little spot. But I got it, and that's the main thing. Okay. So I think that finishes off our under hood experience, except for our front air dam and the front bumper. So I'll do this bit by bit. So our front bumper is going to go here, and you can tell the camera doesn't really pick it up, but there is a difference between the brightness of the tester's chrome and the kit chrome, but it's very close, right? So I'm going to glue the bumper on now. I'm going to use a combination of glue and paint all along here. It doesn't actually connect all the way along, but it's good enough of a connection. Okay. Put this in its place. Just like that. Now again, the nice thing is this is not the same kind of chrome as this stuff, so the glue should be able to penetrate through it, and unlike regular chrome. So I'm going to use a little bit of my extra thin just to make sure that we've got glue in as much spots as we can, and make sure our bumper doesn't fall off at a later date. There we go. Okay, and I'm going to do a similar thing with our rad hose because of all the moving around when I'm installing it. There we go. Okay, so we can put our truck on its roof, because the next step in our little journey here, having done all of this, I'm not going to put the front air dam on yet. That's this guy here. I need to paint this flat black, or I'm going to use Mr. Surfacers, but I'm going to do it in I'm going to spray it. Okay. So that being said, our next step here is our front suspension. So let's orient the truck in the same way as the book and see what we got to do with our suspension. Looks like we're going to start off with our steering arms and our spindles. So let's grab 51 and 64 and we'll glue those two together. Okay, 51 and 64. So it looks like we got some guys here. Spindle 64. I'm pretty sure these are supposed to be black, although we do have detail of the rotor here, or of the brake caliper, but it's on the back side, not the front. And we've got nice ejector pin marks right here all along our what would be our disc rotor. So let's clean these up. Before we glue anything together, let's get our ejector pins cleaned up, because that's just nasty. If I paint that silver, it's just going to be wrong. Okay, that's looking better. Great big ejector pins on your brake rotor, on your disc brakes. That's not good at all. That's not perfect, but I mean, it is going behind some wheels that are pretty solid. I don't even know if you're going to see very much behind them at all. A little tiny bit, but I mean, would you really notice the ejector pins? Probably not. Nevertheless, let's take the other one, since I got to do the same thing with both. Or maybe these are the actual discs. I don't know what they got going on here. Let's see. Because they're calling it the spindle. Is there more to it? Oh, they've got that. A wheel retainer that's supposed to go inside the rim, inside of our wheel. That is a little weird. They've done a really weird setup with the wheels on this truck. I want to test this out. Before we start getting anything assembled, I want to test this. let's find 73 and 75. So we've got 75 right here, right? 75 right here. Let's just grab one of those. Okay, and I've got the other half of the wheels. Those are still in the box, I believe. Yes. Let's grab one of our rims. Okay. So this is supposed to go on here like this, and this goes on here like this. I'm calling that a wheel retainer. So I guess technically this would be like a backing plate, but it's actually the rotor, our disc brake. This would represent our disc on the inside that you can't really see. They're just calling it a retainer, I guess. And then you do this. I guess I should just paint it black. I mean, because you really, what you're seeing is the inside of the rim in there. And then this would just get glued on there, and that way your wheel can spin like this, right? And you've got that set up. So they're really not doing you any favors, are they? So I'm going to paint the back of this silver. And it's a rotor, so, or a disc. So we're going to paint it the brightest silver that I have, and that is Tamiya's LP48 Sparkling Silver. This is the most silvery silver that I have come across in acrylics, or any paints really, other than the actual chrome like testers. Every other silver is just kind of a little more dull. Even Tamiya's what they call chrome. Here's Tamiya's X11 Chrome right here, and that's how it comes out on the jar. Okay, I've sprayed that on there on this outside, and it's not nearly as bright and reflective as their sparkling silver. And this is supposed to be chrome, right? It's just, no, it's not. Sorry guys. This stuff is much closer to chrome. If I'm going to say, hey, I'm trying for a silver that's close to chrome, this is much more chromey. So because we're talking about a disc brake, it should be super chromey, or trying to be chrome. There we go. And we call that done. There's one. Stuff does look better if you have painted over a black primer instead of the gray, but it doesn't really matter. We're just talking about brakes here, right? Now I could paint the one sides of these to represent the disc brake showing through on the other side, but I'm not going to bother. Those I'm just going to paint black and call it a day like that. Okay? And that's going to be good enough. So now that I know how the wheels go together, we'll go back to our suspension. It looks like they're going to try and allow us to have those wheels actually steer. You'll be able to utilize the steering on the front of this truck. Let's put that aside for now and go back to this. We got to get our other pieces. Number 51, that's on here. Which one's 51? This one. Well, they're both 51, so that makes it easy, doesn't it? Okay, here we go. Let's get the other one off there, why not? Get them both. And we are going to be needing our skid plate too. So we've got some flashing on our skid plate right here. Let's just rip that off and clean it up a little bit. Okay. I do find it kind of funny, you know, not a lot of interest in this particular kit and this build as far as my videos on my channel. And I understand, it's a 92 Toyota. How many people are interested in building a 92 Toyota pickup truck, right? But that's why I did this one as a unique special thing. We got to get the assembly done before we get to the really interesting parts, right? We've got to assemble it first, and that's part of this process. Okay, so using one of these, let's have a look here. We got to glue our spindle on. Where did our spindle go? Here he is. Spindle goes on, and it looks like, yeah, we've got a half circle here and a half circle there, so they're going to go in like this. It only goes one way. Doesn't really want to fit. Give it a good press, and you can almost just press fit it. And there we go. There's one together. I will, of course, use glue. Okay. So then this is going to go in, and we're going to go in between our joints here. We're actually going to go in that hole, and then this great big socket's going to go on here, just like this, and that's it. And it's not even a pop fit or anything like that. It just sits there like that. Now, of course, we can't have white parts. Can't have white parts on there. It should be black. So let's just get our paint again. Again, because I want to have some good coverage, I'm going to use the thicker Mr. Surfacer. Match our coloring all over the place. Get in there. I do kind of wish they, like, I don't know, glued those caps in on the lids. I'm not going to paint that peg because our steering arm needs to go into that peg. There we go. Now at the same time, let's grab this just so I can get our spindle painted a little better here. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to do the same. I'm going to just touch up our spindle on the other side here, where I didn't really get that much paint, and then I had to get rid of the ejector pin. And on our other spindle, or on our other, our other disc, I might as well preemptively paint this so that I don't have to do it later. Okay. There we go. There we go. Okay, so that one's ready for when we get there. Okay, I'll just put this here for now. Clean my brush. is kind of the I don't know, I want to say it's the sad thing about this process is you do have little paint and stuff like that, and it takes a long time, and you don't get to install everything quite as quickly as you might like. Especially when, you know, like me, you're trying to do this so that, you know, people watch you and have some entertainment. And then it takes forever just to do one simple little piece. Here's our connecting rod, or steering link. Here's our steer link. And that's all that's on this sprue, so we'll just do this. Okay, so this is installed. We got to do the same on the other one. Okay, and just like the other one, it only goes in one way. Okay, this one fits together much nicer. I don't know why the other one was so tight, and then this one is nice and loose. Not sure why, but we'll let the glue do its thing on this. Okay, so our steer rod is supposed to go in this way and run through underneath. They kind of show it going up into here. Like, is it supposed to go through something? No, I don't think so. So this goes onto our little peg. See how tight of a fit that is. That is a tight fit, which makes me glad I didn't paint that peg. But it sits nicely. It's going to hold on its own. So we're going to line it up here. Put that there. And there's one side. Where's our other one? Let's just do this. Since this is a tight fit, I'm going to assume the other one's tight too. It's a snug fit. I'm going to say it's a snug fit. Okay. That side's in. And that side's in. There we go. So those are in, and yeah, they're going to be able to turn. And now we've got this that's going to put it all together. So we got our pegs that are going to go in these holes, and then what else we got here? We got a couple of pegs here going to go in to our holes here and here, and then a couple of pegs here and here. Looks like they're going to go back here and here. We're not going to glue these ones, but we will glue the others. And then of course these posts look like they're going to go here and here. Just going to make sure these posts are flat. Now these have little divots in them too, but I'm not sure. I'm going to do a little test fit here. So first of all, we're lined up at the front. We're going to line up our steering. That's fine. Something is interfering. She doesn't want to go down all the way. Our exhaust pipe is interfering. Our exhaust pipe's in the way. Isn't that funny? Our exhaust pipe is in the way of this, almost like it's supposed to be, I don't know, just a lot further in. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to trim this bar off, get rid of it completely. I'm just going to do that and just totally get rid of it. Totally get rid of our bar here. Come on, there we go. And you line up. Yeah, see, now she sits nice right where she's supposed to. Just like that. Okay, so we're gonna put some glue on her. Okay, I'm gonna actually take this up and go doink, doink, run glue all underneath here. Go, lined up. Okay, now I'm going to have to hold this down just a little bit. Because she doesn't really want to sit flush. But I can hold that there, get down in here, and that's going to go in your hole. You got to go in your hole. There you go. Holding that down, that, a little bit of glue there. It's not, it just wants to sit proud a little bit, so I'm going to have to hold it. I had some glue on my finger. Wow, am I 10 years old again? I now have a fingerprint on my windshield. I had no idea I had glue on that part of my finger, and I just happened to be touching the windshield. I think maybe I am 10 years old again, because that's something that would happen to me when I was that age. That's ironic. But that tells me that our Toyota is meant to have a broken windshield. So this piece does not really want to stay. So I want to put a little clamp on there. I don't think I have a small clamp, like these little clips. I don't think they open wide enough to hold it. No. So I'm going to try one of these guys. It's too big to get in there. And if I use my big tweezers, these might be a little too much. I mean, he fits in there and he's going to hold it forever, but it's just real cumbersome with a great big pair of tweezers sticking out the side. But that will allow me to concentrate on this side. Now this is something I don't like about this kind of setup, is that the steering arm can fall off. Okay, let's put some glue on you, and then in similar fashion get him in his hole and some glue put on him. Okay, holding that one now. See, what I'd like to do with the steering rod is actually maybe just heat up and melt the pin on the top. So although this one's more willing to sit in his hole, he still wants to pop up like his friend. So let's try. are going to hold it for a minute. Okay. So with those being held in, we can take a look at what we got to do next. So that looks like that's going to be it for this. And you see they are actually showing this little symbol here to take care of that. You see that there? To take care of the pin. So they want you to flatten the pin out with something, whatever that is. Let's see if they show in the beginning. What are they talking about there? They don't really show any of the symbols, like what that's supposed to mean. Does that mean you heat it? See, they got a little chart up here saying the cement, do not cement, that's a decal, that's a clear part, a chrome part, parts shown, repeat on the other side, and of course part number, but it doesn't tell you what that little symbol of that thing is. Which is, well, I mean, that's okay, because really I know what needs to be done here. That it's going to be, what you can do is heat up a screwdriver bit or something like that, and then just press it on there, and that'll melt it enough. So let's do that, okay? I'm gonna grab a little flat-headed screwdriver, one of these guys, okay? And I'm gonna get my little torch. Grab my torch, okay? And what I can do is heat this up and then go press onto that, okay? That ought to be hot enough. There we go. That's one side. This side came off on me, of course. This might still be hot enough. Yep. Maybe not. Nope, she cooled off. There we go. Now, don't go touching this right away with something else, with your fingers, because that's going to burn the heck out of you. So I'm going to put that aside nice and safe over here somewhere, okay? Not touching anything, so she's not going to melt anything else. And let that cool off. Now, if you needed the screwdriver right quickly, you just dip it in a glass of water and you'd be fine, right? Anyway, that should take care of our problem. I can push down on that. She's not going anywhere now. And she's still nice and loose, so our steering still works. Now what I did, I'm going to show you, because you can't really see on the camera, what I did, let's pretend this was our little pin. So what I did is I pushed up on it like this, and as I saw it start to squish a little bit, I kind of pulled it to this, I pulled it off so that it would drag the plastic with it a little bit and make a little bit of a little flat head or a surface that it allowed it to do that. So that's what I did under there, okay? I know you couldn't really see, but that's what I did. I can actually show you, I want to show you the technique, okay? Because you couldn't really see, I'm going to show you on another piece. I'm going to show you on our little rod here. What I actually could do with our rod, I could still use this. It was just kind of the wrong way around. I could put this in here again on the correct side, but I don't really care. I don't care enough to do that. Okay, I'm going to show you. Let's heat this up again. Okay, so now that she's hot, take this push it against here, and it melts a little bit, and I just kind of dragged it. Okay, just melt a little bit and then kind of dragged it. And what that did is as it drags, it cools and it creates a little bit of a flat lip, right? I actually got some stringy stuff going on there, but yeah, that's what you do. I just pushed it down a little bit and then dragged down and dragged, and that dragged some of the plastic out to the side, and now even on this there's a little bit of a lip on the side. Okay, and that's what I did down there, and that's why my steering rod is now held in place properly. Okay, so that's that. Now I think this is probably glued enough, dry enough that these are going to stay in place. And it looks like they are, which means that part is done. Okay, so with this part finished, we move on to step 14. Step 14 looks like we're going back to the top here, and we're going to put in some lights, signal lenses, headlights, stuff like that. So we're going to have to go back to my reference photos, because I think our turn signals need to be painted orange. Headlights obviously got to be white or remain clear, and then we've got our parking lights that go in the bumper. Those might be orange as well, or sorry, amber. They're amber lights for the ambulance. Yeah. Let me take a look at my reference photo here real quick. Okay. Let's see here. Do I have a picture of the front end? No, I don't. I just have the box art to go by. Box art looks like it's kind of a retouched photo of the real truck, but I don't know for sure if that's actually a photo of the real truck. I'm not sure. But our bumper lights are definitely amber, and our turn signals have an amber section to them. So I gotta find my clear parts. Where are my clear parts? Where did my clear parts go? Clear parts are back in the box. So our turn signals just have this little section here that needs to be painted, and then our bumper lights get painted too. We've got these little round ones, these that have no purpose at all. They're in the kit, but they're not used. So let's put our truck over to the side here, and let's get some clear orange. Clear orange. And let's paint our lights. On the inside, of course. Do our bumper lights. Okay, so we gotta let those dry. Okay. Okay, so we gotta let those dry at least for a minute. To me, a paint does dry nice and quick, but not that quick, right? While we're letting that dry, we could put our taillight lenses on. Okay. Taillight lenses. Painted these last time with a little bit of orange in them and painted the red. It's not exactly the way it's supposed to be, but I think it's good enough. I mean, honestly, for this particular build and what's going on with this build, it doesn't really matter. So just make sure that's cleaned up. And same on this one. Okay, and we'll glue our tail light lenses in. Or we'll just drop them on the floor. I just stare at the top of my head. Okay, so it's going to go in like that. I think that's the wrong side. Just drop our tailgate back down here. Yeah, it's gonna go like this. They don't quite fit. It's not a very good fit. Come on. AMT, you could have done a better job at making this fit. Like seriously, they really could have. Okay, that's fair enough there. With the capillary action going on, that's what we got going on there with our tail light. One tail light lens put in. Okay. The other one, I think I'm going to get creative here. With our other one. With this guy, we're going to get a little creative. That's what we're doing. Now that you're broken, you don't want to go on there, do you? That's okay. Because you're going to go on anyway. There we go. So this side we've got a broken tail light. After all, it is 1992 and it's hard to get those parts now. I could put the top part in too. Maybe not. No, she went into the nether regions and she's gone, so I guess I'll just have to live with the fact we've only got the bottom part. There we go. So we've got the bottom part of the lens and that's all we got. And that's part of my custom build with this. My 1992 Toyota, Taliban Toyota. Okay. Let's see. Our lights. Hey, lights are dry. How about that? Let's start with our bumper lights. Okay, so our bumper lights. I'm going to do a little test fit on this and see how they fit in there. Sometimes these things fit really nice and sometimes they don't. And these just drop right in. So now if I put glue, if I just drop the glue in there, it's probably going to make it look like crap. So, because it's going to interfere with the paint, and I don't want that. So I'm going to use some Elmer's glue. Some of this stuff here. Elmer's washable clear. Of course it's clear, because we want clear. I'm going to do it straight out of the bottle. See how small of a drop I can get in there. One little drop. And still that drop is probably too much. So I'm going to kind of smear this around a little bit. Should be okay. I want the glue side down, or the painted side down. And there we go. There's one. Okay. I got, you know, the nice thing about this stuff is it doesn't react with anything. Just smear it around a little bit in there. There we go. And we've got it, our bumper lights in. Okay. So, we should be able to deal with our turn signals now. There. And this one there. Okay. Now, you see where I touched my windshield? Right there? That's disgusting. Which is why I'm thinking my windshield is going to have a big crack in it. Just go big crack right through there or something like that. Let's do a test fit here. This guy here. That's the wrong side. So it's going to sit in just like this. So I'm going to do a similar thing. I don't think I need to do, I don't really want to use this glue here because I don't think it would really work anyway. So we're just going to use our Elmer's. The nice thing about the Elmer's is it starts off clear. We can smear it around and get in the spots where we need it to be. Drop this guy in his place. And there we go. One signal light lands in. So we'll do the same on this one. Spread this out where we need it to be, on our edges. Didn't drop this one in very good at all. I did an actual pretty terrible job. But fortunately the Elmer's is pretty forgiving. And there we go, there's our driver's side signal light in. So we can do the same thing with our headlights. I have kind of run out of time here, but let's do the headlights, get the headlights installed, and then we'll call it a day. Okay. Now the one thing we want to do, you want to install the headlights. They do have the little lines on them, the detail for the lines. You want to make sure that you have that detail facing the inside. So the best way to do it is just to run your fingernail along there and you can feel them. Now I say you want it on the inside, but they do seem to have a little lip on here. I guess that's, so they actually want you, AMT wants you to install your headlights with the line detail on the outside. Which, if that's what they want, then I guess that's what we're gonna do. Just making sure I get all 4 edges. Wipe away some excess. Wipe away the glue that's on my tweezers so that I can actually hold the headlight with my tweezers. And put it in. There we go. One headlight lands in. And we'll do the same on this side. Smear the glue around to all 4 edges. Like that, clean. Get the correct edge on the outside. Push and done. There we go. All our lenses are installed. Just like that. Alright guys, that is where we're going to leave it for today. Alright. So we're going to let this all dry. We're going to let that cure. We got our workable steering now. And yeah, that's where we're going to leave it for today. Have a quick little check and see what's next. Looks like the next thing would be our roll bar. Oh no, we've got more. We got windshield wipers, we got rear view mirrors, or sorry, I mean side view mirrors. Windshield wipers, side view mirrors. We've got our front air dam to go on. All these little detail things. But I got to get those painted before I can go on. So, because even my roll bar just has I just did a little bit of a primer job on it, and that's about it. And it's got to go in there, right? And then of course our feature piece has to go in there too, kind of like this, right? So yeah, but that's gonna be last. Anyway, that's where we're going to leave it today, guys. I want to thank you for watching. Thank you for the new subscribers and all the comments that I'm seeing on especially my older videos. I love reading that, discovering, hey, these are still being watched. That's really awesome. I want to thank you guys for your support and all that good stuff. And we're going to leave this for now, and we'll see you all in the next one.